Hello there, folks. Welcome back to an episode of Citie Skylines with me, Dr. Ben GFM. Good to see you. Welcome as we zoom towards or move in towards Central Park Rangers or New York City FC. I mean, maybe a rebrand is in order, but yeah, I think we'll go with Central Park Rangers. You can see there's actually a game going on right now. If you get ever closer, you can see there. Look, they're playing. It's not the greatest engine in terms of football. It's still better than Football Manager 2019, but it's not the best engine for football you've ever seen in your entire lives. As we swing out, then you can see there things are still building quite nicely. Traffic seems to be moving quite smoothly as well, actually. We've not had too many issues. Quite a few cars are moving underneath that tunnel that goes below the bridge. So that's quite a busy point of entry and exit. So I think we might have to sort that out in some capacity. So what we're going to do, we've got a few obvious little highway linkage. I think I made up about 4 words there. So we're going to add a few more in a few different places just to hopefully remove some traffic congestion that might arise in the very near future. So we'll do a runoff in the direction over there. I don't want this road to be particularly busy. Actually, can I change this to be slightly bigger? I think that might actually fix the problem. If we were to have it from there, it might destroy a few buildings, but the more I look at this, the more I think that this is probably the best way to go about it. So if we were to go just along here, really, and then can I go under? I think I can go under. Yes I can. And then there we are. That should, in theory, just loosen things up a little bit in terms of cars, because we've now got 2 lanes rather than the 1, as well as obviously the cycle lanes and people obviously walking to and from either side. So yeah, that's worked out a little bit better. Today then, population building. It's been a theme of the recent episodes that we've had, and you can see then we are just 5,500 away from getting to that 42,000 mark and being I assume it would be a colossal city yet, and another square to build within. So that'll be quite fun. Everyone's unhappy there. What just happened? Maybe because I started to move away, they missed me. Let's assume it's that. Right, in terms of space to build then, I think Brooklyn is the obvious area, but we're going to continue to just build out this particular section. I don't really know what to do with this bit here. It's quite parky, isn't it? We've already got a park here. I don't really mind having 2 parks. I think having 2 parks quite close to one another is actually going to be fine. But building out an area over here, I think, should be today's mission. A few people noticed and noted that putting where the water, obviously, the bad water, like there's some sort of crime villain, goes away and goes out. Putting it up here is fine, but it is now upstream, so maybe not the smartest move I've ever made. I just worry that I've not really got enough space to put it in a more downstream area, and I don't really like it down here. But what we're going to do is begin to move, as we pause the game briefly, begin to move all of this in this general direction up here where we can. So and the main reason for that is so I can build the road that goes around. Someone's messaging me on Discord, viewers. Bear just with me one moment. Alright, we're back. We're just going to move the second one as well and place this up here, and then obviously connect them all together as well. This is a bit awkward to where to put this. Again, it's going down. The point someone made is very, very good, that it's an absolute shambles up here now because of the water situation that we've got. I think in terms of electricity, we should be fine, are we? Is it all still well connected? We're going to have to move a few of these as well to obviously stop all the garbageness going all garbagey everywhere. But you can see it starts to, but when it gets to around, if I bring up this one again, you can see the polluted water just dissipates, just disappears. So it's absolutely fine. It's not a problem whatsoever. Whereas down here, we've still got a few issues with it lasting a little longer than I would prefer it to. But because we've added a few more of these water treatment plants in, we are going to have to put in some of these waste disposal dispensers, water waste. I don't know. Alliteration, viewers. I love it, but not right now. It's baffling me. So these should, again, this now should slowly start to dissipate on its own. That's the plan. But the real reason, to get back to it, for removing those and moving it around, is that we can now build this road and bring it further along here, which enables us finally to build out around this Brooklyn area. So that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to get this road. We're going to go for our favourite 4-lane boulevard. Boulevard. Did I really just say boulevard? Boulevard. Sorry about that, everyone. And bring it over towards here. Now, the difference is with this section, I've gone all the way around on certain areas. I'm actually not going to do that everywhere. I'm going to be a bit more selective with where I actually put it. So again, we can't go all the way around quite yet because we haven't got the square unlocked. But you can see I'm not actually going to just take it all the way out there just to bring it back round. We might make that a port or something. So yeah, bearing that in mind for the future. And in some way at least, we need to try and connect what is over here to everything else. Now, it's not, I was going to say it's a little bit hilly over here, but it's not really. It's still quite flat. But I think building in this entire area here and then obviously connecting it under these roads towards there is going to be what we look to do today in some capacity. So a lot of that will just be building roads in certain areas. The idea of using roundabouts, like I've used so little in terms of roundabouts compared to how I normally would with builds. I've used one so far, and that was in episode 1. We've not used a roundabout since. I mean, you maybe would classify that as a roundabout, but to me that's just a junction rather than a roundabout. And putting them into an American city, it just feels wrong, doesn't it? But I think in terms of traffic management, it's quite nice to have them in there now and again. We're going to get a bus lane going somewhere. I'm debating doing a major crossing here, maybe from like this corner off towards there. I mean, it would be pretty dramatic to do this. I won't lie to you. That would be pretty mad, but then filling in the gaps would be quite fun. I don't know if that road exists in real life, that one there. I've placed it in there, though. I mean, I've gone for it there, haven't I? I've thought about it, and then without any more thought, I've just placed it, which I guess is fine, right? Yeah, it gives me a basis. It gives me a template to then build within. So I'm now justifying it in my own head that I think that was probably the right move. Again, the phrase I use in every single episode is not necessarily true there, folks, to real life. So please don't judge me for that. But now what we can do is build out the area in a much more well-constructed way, a lot more logically, and anyway, to start filling in more population. We're going to try and build it up over the course of this episode, so yeah, hopefully it'll go quite well. There's been quite a few questions. I mean, I talked to Ellie earlier on. I mentioned it in an episode recently, and I'm going to request again, so this episode can be the question episode. For me to do an episode with Ellie, talking about my life with Ellie again. People that have come over to this channel. Actually, I'm interested. Is there anyone here listening now who is totally unaware that I have another channel, has just searched for Citie Skylines stuff and found me? I'd love to hear from you. Genuinely would love to hear from you if you're a new person that is new to my channel, that had no idea that this is essentially quote-unquote my second channel at the moment, compared to my channel that is my career over at Football Manager, or over on the Football Manager side of things, youtube.com/DrBenGFM. Feel free to go and check that out if you've got an interest in football. I will say, if you don't have an interest in football, it probably, even if you like me, it probably isn't worth it. I'm not going to pretend to you folks. I'm not going to pull the wool over your eyes. But yeah, if you're a new person completely, I find that fascinating. I always think that's interesting when you suddenly find someone. There was a moment I had watching YouTube once before, actually, where for those that know of the slow-mo guys, I'm sure lots of people do. They're a very substantial or very well-known, recognisable channel. But Gavin from the slow-mo guys is also part of a company called Rooster Teeth. And the moment I realised that about 5-6 years ago now was one of those, oh my god, I couldn't believe it. That was what went on in my head. That sound went on in my head as we've got a little bit more now of the nature reserve area. Lookout towers, a lean to shelter. Is that where you just go in and lean, or is there? They can't mean that, surely. That's a very simplistic way of looking at it, Ben. Is that where you lean, he said. Genuinely words that just came out of my mouth. Goodness me. Yeah, when you have those crossover moments, I would like to think that one day, someone that is watching the Citie series will suddenly think, you know, I'm going to give Football Manager a go, and they'll be like, I recognise that voice, and I've not... He's the New York City building guy. That'd be great. I mean, I'm living in a fantasy world right now of what I would like to happen in the future. What am I like? Do we have the cargo? Oh, we do. Oh, we could bring a cargo harbour in now. Oh, that's a very big step, though, to do. Because the traffic will increase massively. Do I really want to risk this early on, putting a cargo harbour just over on this side, just for the sake of it? Yes, I do. I contemplated it for a moment, and then the conclusion was formed. We're going to make it one way. So we've got a clear in and a clear out to this, which goes there. It's going to sort of create a little bit of a bridge over that bank of water, and the same one is going to happen over on this side as well. So it loops round. We could have some officey areas in here. We're going to have to build out the water, of course, something we've not done yet. So we'll just get on that briefly as we go all the way across to there. We'll do the same thing with this one, build all the way across to there, and then again we can build up. And again, these lines of 20 seems to be our rule at the moment, doesn't it? So we'll just have to go this way a little bit more. Again, you have to sort of guess on these, but occasionally I get it right. I always double check though. You don't want to get it wrong, do you? Again, I think that's about 20. Oh, so close. So close, but so far. Still 19. I went no further. There we go. 20, 20. It doesn't give you exact measurements. Occasionally you'll get it wrong, which can be really annoying. Like there, it's 179.7 rather than the complete 180, which it should be. And again, we're going to have a similar thing here as well. So I'm just going to go under it, actually, and then link it differently. And then again, the same thing applies over here. I was going to just mention the fact that I'm going to New York soon, but I feel like I mentioned that in every episode. If you're not aware of that now, then I'm not sure you'll ever be aware of it. We're at that point, aren't we? Where are we going? 80? Yeah. But doing this is the sort of thing I realise now doing it that I should just be skipping through. I shouldn't even be thinking about this in this level of detail. I should just be skipping through these bits so you don't have to watch me build it out. But I guess some of you quite like it anyway, so we'll persevere. We'll put on this corner, I'm going to put a few wind turbines in that will obviously power the harbour. And straight away, because of the way it's built up, it's going to have lots of cars and vehicles. It's the only harbour in the entire city right now, so you've got to think it's serving 37,000 people currently. What I'm going to really quickly do while we're here as well is build out a few areas that we can have a few runoffs, because again, we've got to keep our traffic working as we'd like it to. So this I already know is going to cause me a problem in the future. When I delete this in about 2 episodes time, just remember I knew this was going to be an issue. I might even do a very similar thing here as well. So I'll have one that goes that way. Do I want it to go that way? Yeah, no I don't. I want it to go... No I do, because it's the reverse, isn't it? So I'm getting very confused. And then that one goes up and out that way. So there we are. So we've got 2 of those now working in tandem. Again, we'll hopefully increase... or not increase, but stem the flow of traffic in other areas now. This area here can actually continue to be built out. Apparently there's a lack of police in the area because there's burglaries happening all over the place. We'll just pop in a little police station down that side. We can make this a bit more blocky, I've realised, along here. So we will do that. We'll go to there, and to there, and to there. And it's one way for some reason, because that's the road I was just using. Luckily you can fix that up though. We've got a few like natural bridges, which again, I'm not overly bothered about. I'd rather them not be there, but it does probably break up certain areas to make it look again a little bit more natural. I'm going to move these away as well because they're going to be loud, and if you live locally you would be annoyed. So I'm just going to put them over here for now. We'll keep the source of power, but yeah, we're just going to get them well away over to here somewhere. There we go. Do these need power to be connected to them? I don't think they do. No, they don't. Okay, I was worried that we would have lacked that, but everything's going to be fine. Is our water situation over here absolutely clean now? Oh yeah, it's worked out perfectly. I mean, it's floated out a little bit. The area up there is getting a little bit more polluted, so we'll just take a few of these and just sort of place them sporadically at the top here. We've done it before, but yeah, it's really starting to be a bit nicer. Hopefully you can just about see, actually, as I move these. There's a slight discolouring on a few of these. You can't see it with that one. There's a slight discolouring, but it's generally pretty good. It is starting to go out that way and going out that way more now, though, which again, once we unlock the square, we can obviously fix that. As what's happened here? Oh, we've just not connected it up. I was getting very confused. Are people using this? There are a few people. I can't see any boats. Where are the boats at? There's no boats anywhere. No? Not a single boat? Oh. Okay, well, maybe at some point there'll be a boat, hopefully. Oh, God, I look at Hoboken every time and think, God, I'm going to fix it, and I can't. Too scared at the moment. Just figuring out Brooklyn, and then we'll go over there in the future. Again, we're going to make this a bit blockier down this side. We've really built this out, though. I feel like in a short space of time, we've done an awful lot. I just hope the traffic, especially around this area, doesn't start to get really congested. I'm just going to check my traffic, actually. 81% for New York City. Not bad. This is the only junction that continues to be pretty busy. This is a very busy bridge, which I'm actually fine with. I think you're always going to have one area that's going to be really busy. Again, this area is similar, but the queues aren't huge on any side. So there's at certain points you've just got to put up with bad traffic. You can't try and get all of it to be absolutely perfect, absolutely spotless. It's just not going to work like that. So you've got to be prepared to let things flow. Now with Brooklyn, policy-wise, I might make Brooklyn have certain services and different things compared to other places. So Brooklyn's going to have free Wi-Fi. That's right. I've said it already. They're also going to recycle plastic. A part maintenance boost for Brooklyn as well. And free public transport, recreational use of stuff. That's what we'll describe it as, stuff. Parks and recreation. That makes your parks and plazas the envy of the country even. Moderately increased land prices around that area. So we'll have some nice areas around Brooklyn. We're gonna zhuzh it up a bit. On the other side of things, we're going to have maybe electric cars only. Industry 4.0? No, probably not Industry 4.0. We will, though, boost connections. No, we won't boost connections. The cost is too much. Lightning rods, fine. Some of these are connected to natural disasters. Something we'll do in the far future when I'm prepared to destroy the city I've spent hours and weeks building. And industrial space planning. Yeah, it just allows it to get bigger. Like, again, doubles the amount of goods produced by its own industry buildings. The upkeep's going to be quite big, but because we've got a harbour, I don't really mind doing it around there. I think it'll look actually quite good. I'm actually just going to build, speaking of this area, I'm just going to build this like that, so I can put some fancy buildings in here that sort of, it'll look as if they almost control the harbour, which obviously isn't going to be true, but it's going to look good, I think. Again, we'll get to that at a later date. Now, population building, we've talked about it before. People are dying again, so we'll do our very best to stop them from doing that. As where do we go? We could go anywhere here. This is the thing. Where do I start? And with what sort of housing? I think we're going to kick things off with a low density, just because I like the fact it's a lot smaller than some of the bigger buildings. Some of these blocks here, though, we'll make into bigger apartment blocks. But I'm really going to pack this, like fill this out as much as we can with a higher and increased population. So we're just going to do that along there as well, all the way along here. They're not going to love the fact they're right next to a highway, but you know, I can't really help that at the moment. And now we've done that, we can put in a few more shops and services all over the shop. Schools obviously need to be deployed. We're going for a big area here, big hit, which I know really increase the population in this particular section as much as we possibly can. I'm actually going to put some industry down here as well. I think it's just about far away enough from some of the housing areas. It might be a little bit close here. In fact, I'm going to bear that in mind a little bit and remove a few bits and pieces. But there we are. Look. That should grow out as well. Water covers the area perfectly. Electricity-wise, we're looking good. So, yeah, if we go towards... Where are we going to connect this up? That's the question. I don't really know. Where are we going to connect it, viewers? I'm not sure. Oh, I really don't know. I'm going to have to create another power source. Because you don't really need it. I guess I could go around the edge. Does that work? Oh, it doesn't really, does it? Let's face it. Although I just bring it across from the other side of the river. I think the more I look at it, the more I think that's probably the best way of doing it. But we've got these houses over here that also need to be helped. So we'll go up a bit there. Across, and then maybe down to there. Yeah, that works. Sure, perfect, problem free. Right now, we're just gonna have to wait to see if this builds up and the population grows at a rapid rate. We can include some more officey areas as well. We'll make all the way along here office blocks. We could even put some specialist zones in, or some specialist buildings in, unique buildings, in fact. So let's go to some of these. We've not really put any of these in actually. Statue of Wealth. We'll put that in right there. Statue of Wealth, it fits perfectly. Lazaret Plaza. Can poor health be something to be proud of? Apparently, yes. The Lazaret Plaza is a scenic area where people like to visit. Requirement for a building of the medical centre. Oh, okay, so we could put this in. We've got a hospital around here somewhere. I'm sure I put in a hospital. Yeah, here's a hospital. Look. So we'll just put it quite near opposite, maybe opposite the hospital. Yeah, sure, that works. There you are. Look. Loving it. They probably could do with a little bit more happiness in their lives. What else have we got here? Statue of Shopping. If that's going to go anywhere, it should probably be in and around Central Park, actually. I think maybe towards the Upper East Side, that would work. Quite near the football ground as well. So we'll just pop that in again to see what that looks like for those that are curious. Just sort of sits in there. It almost looks like it's all connected. So it works out quite nicely for us, really. This area is not building up. Not only that, we've got power issues all over the shop. So we'll just, again, short-term fixes for hopefully what won't be long-term problems. But you never know, do you? Could end up being that way. So far, this hasn't been overused either, as one of the ships goes off. Actually, quite a few of them. These big ships here, cargo ships, not with a huge load, it must be said, but they are helping now with our exports and imports. So that's good, I guess. And yeah, now this area is starting to actually grow a little bit more. Hopefully it continues to do so. I feel like shops are going to be the key here. Because not only do obviously the people that live here need them, they also provide jobs. So that's why there's this constant need for more and more of them. Not everyone wants to work at a factory, not everyone wants to work at an office, and they obviously need to be run by someone. So it tends to work quite well if you have a mixture of both high and low density commercial. It also, like, it's the sort of building that it is, encourages a certain type of person to live close to the area as well. So it's something to consider. It's all like in that respect, that element, it's very realistic. While that's all going quite well, I'm actually going to just continue to build it out further along here. Why not? Let's give it large. 140 out there. I really want to start making headway into this population. We're about 20 minutes into the video so far, but I might continue today until we get to the portion of the video which gives us a new square. So this could be potentially, I don't know how long it's going to take, but the longest episode so far. And keep your eyes on the population. Again, where the magic number is 42,000. We're quite a few away, but you'll just see in this episode how quickly, if you do it in sort of a speed running type of way, how quickly you can build up an area at rapid speed. We're just going to, again, we're going to build out towards here as well. This is sort of going to be its own place out in this way. I might make it something to do with some of the specialist buildings. We've got so much money, I forget really that I can be a bit more adventurous with a few of these areas because of the amount of money we've got. You've got these buildings. Is it these buildings? Yes. They're considered the modder packs, but they come with some of the DLCs, I believe, like a software development studio. We could stick that in around this area. We could make this a certain area for maybe IT specialization. Whether we can actually do that within the Brooklyn area is quite difficult because I don't want all offices, obviously, to become that. So what we're going to have to do is remove and then add this new specific area for, actually it's called Sheffield Park. It's going to be called, I'm going to call it Nerd Central for now, which I hope offends no one. I'm essentially going after my own genre there. Right, we're just going to pop that in there. Lovely, Nerd Central. I love that though, to be fair. I'm all about it. I love this. I love the fact that it's just an area. This is where all the cool people go. I'm all for it. Absolutely all for it. Can we fit another one in? That's the question. Robotics Institute. Yes. Lovely. Oh, this is fantastic. Right, let's get some offices in here as well, actually, while we're here. This middle portion is going to be just offices here. Maybe even on the other side as well. We'll just have a little corner shop to there. Look. I'm hoping these will start to build out and will connect automatically with electricity. Oh, there's no services here. I've just realised. No schooling, no nothing. Right, very quickly. A couple of those schools. Our high school can go slap bang in the middle. Very accessible to everyone. And we've talked about them before, but we're going to go for a faculty building here and there as well. Put one quite close to the other schools, and then one up there. And then maybe even one in Nerd Central, because I think it could be a really nice place to learn. So there you are. Let's stick that in as well. Can we go for any of these specialist buildings? A semiconductor plant. I don't even know what that is. The plant manufactures high-performance processing units for computers. Oh, that's the epitome of, isn't it? Come on. It doesn't fit in any of these places. Oh, there we go. Pop it in there. Right, good. Now, hopefully this will build up. Water should be fine. I'll be able to connect this somewhere. That's the question. It can't even go over there. It's not tall enough. Just there and there. Again, not going to be there forever, but has to be there right now as a form of necessity over anything else. You can see these, because we've put schools in here, it's starting to build out. So what's it going to be like when we actually put in services to keep people alive? So a few police departments are going to be sort of scattered around as well. Fire department, same thing. Actually, I might put in a major fire department. Like you might see these fire stations. You have a firehouse, which covers far less area, but you could have these fire stations, which will cover a mass area. So I'm going to pop that in there. Look, you can see immediately. Absolutely love it. Everywhere else seems pretty covered in that regard. We can maybe put one over here as well. There seems to be a need for it. And the people of this area, it's saving, for those wondering. It saves, I think it saves every half an hour. I think it's a half an hour loop. But here you are, look, boom. 60,000 is the cost, but well worth it. They absolutely love it now. And I guess we need to put in some form of medical help as well. So we'll do a medical centre there. We'll also do a doctor's office over on this side, and we'll put in a crematorium. Actually, no, we'll go cemetery over here. It just feels right to put in a cemetery. I don't know why, but it just feels right to put a cemetery over here somewhere. Maybe just pop it in there, cover enough space, enough area. We'll do a crematorium over on the far side as well. There we are. So we've got a mixture of both. Now, choice is important, viewers. There you are. Look. These roads as well, we'll put out towards the highway. Again, design-wise, I will say, doing gridded stuff, having done like lots of different types of builds in my time playing Cities, doing gridded stuff is, generally speaking, easier to do and not as aesthetically pleasing as you maybe would like it to be on occasion. Like, you can do some really nice builds. Like, doing British-based design is really interesting because, of course, we don't really work with a gridded system. A lot of it is curved. If you go to anywhere in England, really, neighbourhoods are based around the curvature and cul-de-sacs of different areas, where cul-de-sacs in America, I don't even know if America are aware of the phrase cul-de-sac. I can't imagine that they happen very often. I've never seen one, so they can't be true. They can't be real based on that. We've got this massive park area here, which I'm debating, with all these trees here, turning this into a massive park in the centre of Brooklyn, like I'm talking huge park that we just build around, because we've got all this area over here. I think breaking it up with these parks, that's partially open one over here, could be massive, but I'm talking about having a park that covers all of where these trees are. So it basically covers this entire area. We could even put like an amusements in, or something, or like an amusements park, or we save that for the Coney Island area of down there. But there's not a great deal of space to do it, so we could do that, or we could put in a zoo, like we could make Brooklyn Zoo, and make that a huge area to build into. Let me know your thoughts. This particular park, I'm going to call it Patreon Park to represent the Patreons for now. What should we put in Patreon Park? Comment section. Get involved. What would you like to see in that particular area? As again, I'm just going to grid off a few more bits and pieces. We're just 3,000 away from really advancing our population. Now, on these outer areas, we've stuck with doing low density. I think it's time, especially because we're population building, to go for some high density buildings now. We're going to really start to go for this, I think. So what we'll do, we'll add them here, and we'll go massive. You see, all these here. This should increase the population very, 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 very quickly. That's the dream. That's the hope. Of course, office blocks are going to have to go in tandem with all of this. We mentioned here would be like almost Port Authority-esque around these areas. So we'll add a few more of those in. Again, shops can go on this area as well. I just worry that I don't want it to become overly congested with people, or cars especially. I also realise there's no public transport links at the moment. In the Brooklyn area, we should maybe add one in somewhere, maybe two in somewhere, if we're going to be really generous. We'll put one there and there, and the reason for that is I'm going to link it to the bottom of Tribeca. So you're going to have that one there, and then it's going to, it's almost going to, come on, go across there, and then perfect. So we could create a new line almost. We should probably have a station in and around this part as well. I think we need to go for both. This central area has nothing at the moment. Yeah, we definitely have to do this. So we'll put one on this corner. Then we'll go for one inside of the park. And then another one that links up both. Sort of there, near that junction. That might get busy, but we've got to try and increase how people can move around the city without having to use cars. I feel like that's going to be a major factor in all of this. And while we haven't got curved roads very often, I am prepared to have curved underground subway lines. I might even connect, this area here up. So we have a real line that goes all the way around, just like that, look. I mean, I think that could work. Then you've almost got a link that goes right the way around. I quite like that. So we're going to start a line there, and go to there, and then you'll get the theme of this, viewers, I'm sure. As we now go all the way around, and almost create, for those that live in London, obviously there is the circle line. This is going to be our equivalent of the circle line. I'm also going to do one that goes the other way, so people don't have to wait the entire time to go all the way around. So we're going to stick 2 lines in. I know it's in Central Park. There's been some destruction. I don't know what's happened, but something needs to be rebuilt. If it's the pier again, I don't know what's happening to the pier. It keeps happening, but I don't know what is happening. Let's go check this out. What's going on over here? This building burnt down. We can rebuild it for a small cost, but I mean, no one wants to see that. Oh, there was a huge fire in Central Park. Oh, it's continuing. Oh my, okay. Oh my God, Central Park has burnt to a crisp. Look at this. Oh, good heavens. Right, there is a solution to this, which is to build fire helicopter depots. Obviously they will collect the water and they will, oh my God, they will spread it across there. This is not a good situation. What I'm going to do is this area here is going to become an area for services. very, very quickly. I considered doing this a few episodes ago and just didn't do it. Because of the fire, it's going to, quick planning, we're going to do it now. So that's going to go in there. We're going to have 2 of those, I've decided, so we can have more helicopters. A fire service, police helicopter, is also going to work in tandem with those. And then finally, one for air ambulance, which I think exists, right? Yeah, medical depot as well. So that area now is helicopter central, essentially, viewers, which is the name I've created for it. But I'm hoping, and we'll see it in action, these, oh no, they need water, ironic, I know, but they need water. Quickly bring these down here, 60, 20 across. Oh, the Great Fire of Central Park. This was not supposed to be part of this. This would have been at the beginning of next episode, I realise, but you can see, look, all these helicopters now are collecting water, some of them going through the bridges. We'll ignore that, and hopefully, I mean, they'll put it out. Please put it out. Please. I could remove all the trees and that would stop it, but I think us trying to actually deal with the problem, as we should do. Look at all these helicopters. I mean, this is a risk. But you can see they're going to work on this. The fire is disappearing very, very quickly. Some of the trees down this bottom end, you can see that they have slowly built their way back. Not all of them have, though. And it looks a bit shambolic. But, yeah, only a small area now. Come on, choppers. Do your business. Let's get these sorted out, shall we? I can't believe more buildings didn't, like, disintegrate, really. But hopefully, once that, again, yeah, collect water from there, very quick. Everyone's gathered on this pier, fearing for their lives. Oh, the drama of it, viewers. There you are, look. The fire is gone. At last. And hopefully now, with these systems here, or these services here, that will never happen again. Oh, goodness me. As we've not put water over here, and people are suffering, and I just left it. This is the problem. The bigger your city gets, viewers, the more admin there is to do. Everywhere, essentially. Not even in a small place. Everywhere it needs admin. So we're just going to go across here and down there. And again, link up this area. So yeah, again, comment section, I mentioned it before. For Patreon Park, what should we make it into? A zoo one end, an amusement park the other end, or do we make it housing? Like that's an option as well. We don't have to make it a park. Like, it doesn't have to be set in stone as a park. We can do anything with it, really. I mean, leave your suggestions in the comment section, and we'll have a look at those and decide. As I said before as well, as much as I want that to happen, questions you might have for Ellie, whether it's based on anything that we do, I'm going to put them to her. We're going to do sort of like a dual commentary. I'll ask her about Girlfriend vs. FM for those that watch my Football Manager stuff as well. We'll see if that's going to come back anytime soon. We've been teasing it for about 3 years now, and it's just not happened. These buildings need to keep building up. But I do like the way it's starting to develop, I must say. Because I built Manhattan before, but I never really had the opportunity to go. Like it was based upon Manhattan. It was a much bigger build. But the fact that I get to build out Brooklyn and Queens as well, it's actually really exciting. Like, you get to really get a feel for what it's going to begin to look like. Like, obviously, you remember when we first put that roundabout in, where we've got to now. We've developed this really, really nicely, I think. We really do. And people are coming along for the ride, coming along for the journey. I seem to be really enjoying it. So, as long as you lot are enjoying it, I will continue to make stuff. That's always been my rule. So, yeah, we'll stick with that. I'm going to put some row of shops along there as well. Do I need to put in parks somewhere along here just to increase happiness? But can we actually put them in? That's the problem. Stick one in there. Do they like that park? They don't love it. We could put a botanical garden in. Along this edge, maybe. In fact, let's put them on either end. 2 botanical gardens, and then in the centre, put some shops. Quite like the idea of that. Water again, still an issue. I mean, we're going to be spending so much. We're going to get close to the limits if we're not careful. We're not too far away in terms of the sewage production, so we might have to put in another one of these. I always forget what it's called. Water treatment plant. That's the one. And hopefully as well, people are using the subway. We can check that on one of our stats pages. I believe it's this one here. So you can see 2,270 people are using the underground services, which are fantastic. Bus ride-wise, people aren't really using it a massive amount, but are using it. I mean, that's fair to say. And the train line that, of course, comes from out of the city is also being utilised a little bit as well. We're seeing people actually use that, which is nice. If you go in on this, look, you can see the people standing on the platform. As the train comes in, everyone comes out, everyone gets off, and then as they go through that building, they go underground, and they all come out. Here, look. See? It works. Oh, Cities are so good. What a lovely game. What a great game. Yeah, what do you think then? Do we just... Okay, we're sort of waiting now for our population to build up. We're actually very close. Oh, I said the episode would end as we reached our population, and I don't think we're too far away. Weekly, the change has been quite dramatic at the moment, and you can see we're nearly at that 42,000 mark. We're 300 people away, with plenty of room to build and get bigger around here. So hopefully it'll happen very, very soon. Come on, another square, another bit of, oh God, what are we going to do? Which square are we going to build? But yeah, we're getting ever closer. We certainly have to build out Queens next episode. We've worked a lot on Brooklyn today. Started to really build out this area, which is great. And actually, traffic-wise, I built these thinking it might cause some jams here and there, but actually that's not been the case at all. Obviously, cars that have to get towards here, though, will more than likely have to slip off one of these roads and then go under, or go to the roundabout and come all the way back across. So could get quite confusing. As we're nearly there, viewers. I think it's going to happen. Here we go. There it is. Colossal Citie. 42,000 is our population now. Before we can get airports as we go towards 60,000 now. So there's an 18,000 person gap in between. Plenty of work then. Plenty of building to be done in that time, and of course options available to us. A campus, maybe we should build a campus over Patreon Park. You can leave your suggestions in the comment section and I'll read through them in next episode. We will discuss what you've suggested. If you enjoyed this video, of course, do drop a like on it, one of the longer episodes of the series, and if you want to see some more, make sure you subscribe to the channel, as I'll be back again very, very soon. We love with care. From me, Ben. Goodbye.